Okay, in this video I'm going to be going over how I introduced the Dremel to Cinco. Cinco's still about, I think at this, making of this video, about 11 weeks, maybe 10 weeks. And introducing the Dremel for the first time, what I'm doing is I'm just turning it on. This is a very quick overview, by the way. The training session was a lot longer than this, and I'm just condensing it to let you guys know how I did it. Dremel comes on, and it is one of those Dremels made for nail trimming. I like the guard that it has so the dog doesn't accidentally hit it. So I'm just turning it on and letting the dog get used to the sound of the Dremel. The sound of the Dremel, that motor, can be very intimidating for some dogs. And I don't want their first introduction to be that motor touching them right away, just in case the dog happens to be a little bit sensitive. So I'm working with a puppy here. This is a very nice, environmentally sound dog, but still I want to make sure that I'm not taking any unnecessary risks. What I'm also doing here now, you just saw, is I didn't trim anything. I didn't shave anything. I simply just touched the Dremel against his paw so that he felt the motor, the Dremel, against his paw. I'm not trimming. I'm just letting him know, hey, this thing that didn't mean anything also can touch you and nothing bad happens to you. Okay, so I'm touching him with it. As you can see, I'm not really trimming anything. Now, by this point, I've done a lot of training with Cinco. I have, I've done a lot of training in which me touching him has been a good thing. Me handling him has been a good thing. So this is not a dog that I'm just getting to know. He understands, so you can tell when he pauses, he's expecting some sort of reward, because a lot of our training sessions are like that. At some point, what I'm going to do is I am going to start trimming, and I believe it is right around this time, possibly right around this time, that he's starting to get just slightly shaved. I'm not really trimming a whole lot. My goal is just to have the trimmer just touch his claw, and that's what I'm doing here, just very, very lightly. The intent is not to trim, but just to let him know when this touches you, and when it actually touches your claw, good things happen. Okay, I've heard of horror stories, really bad experiences dogs have when they get their nails trimmed all in one session. Could have very traumatic effects that then later the dog has to spend just weeks, months battling, because their first introduction to it was bad. They were not prepared for it at all. So, I could have stretched this out a little bit over several sessions, but I felt like he was doing well enough that I could proceed to where he was being trimmed. You can tell there's a little bit of resistance here, and obviously, nothing bad is happening. There's a little bit of resistance, but good things keep happening. Nail trimming is so important, and it's one of those things that you want to be able to do with your dog. Yes, there are people that get paid to do this. You could bring your dog to the groomer and they could do it for you, but I need to feel comfortable touching my dog's claws, touching their paws, and trimming them, even if maybe I'm not the most dedicated, which, to be honest with you, I do slack on that sometimes. But I need to be able to feel comfortable touching my dog's paws, and they need to feel comfortable with me touching them as well. All of my dogs we can do this with. We can trim their claws. It's just one of those things that is important. Now, the session here has been a lot longer than just 4 minutes. This is just me trimming a bunch. So you can tell he's starting to get kind of sick and tired of it. But still, good things are happening. You can tell a little bit more resistance happening there. But I have a nice dog that does not have a problem with it. If I had a more sensitive dog, I would have ended this session much, much earlier on a higher note. But no issues with Cinco. He's doing pretty well here. Still enjoying the food. You just have to be careful that you take your time. This video might possibly be a little misleading, because you can see he's doing pretty well from introduction to the time that I'm trimming the claws. But this won't be the case with every single dog. Okay, if you have an adult dog and they already have a problem with people touching their paws, this video might not be a suitable video to go off of. If you have that type of dog, you want to take your time. You know, I am doing this in one session, but if you have an adult dog, you want to make sure that you really take your sweet time. With young dogs, very easy to do. And my suggestion is spend the extra money, get the guard on the Dremel. If you get those Dremels that are not made for this, they don't have the guard, and that could really, you know, they could really have a bad experience with that. So be careful. I'm doing the back claws here. It's important to do that as well. That usually we do a little bit later. So you can see he's enjoying his hoof. With an older dog, you have to make sure that they are comfortable with this.